Alrighty, hello YouTube. Bruce here again. I did not think I was going to be making another video up until pretty much Path of Exile 2 came out, but I've been having so much fun with this build in Project Diablo 2 that I decided I would make a bit of a guide, just kind of showcasing the build a little bit. I did see there's some other videos that already exist about this build. They're a little bit older, but I just wanted to throw something together because I've just been having so much fun with it. It's such a cool, just like, thing. So this is Poison Strike Necromancer, or as my buddy deemed it, and I have kind of taken over the title as well because I think it's funny. Michael Myers. We're Michael Myers Necromancer. This is Poison Strike. So the whole deal with it is we're using Poison Strike, which is just, it adds a lot of damage to your dagger or scythe attacks. Adds a lot of poison damage to it. And I just started this character. This is the second character that I actually got to endgame this league. This is the second character that I really tried, and it was just so smooth and so much fun for how simple it is that I decided I would just kind of throw a guide together for it, because it was such a ridiculous character, and it really caught me off guard. I was not expecting it. So I was debating on if I was going to showcase a map or if I was going to showcase just some farming, and I think a map takes a little bit too long. At the end of the day, I'm only level 85, and I'm still missing a couple pieces, or some pieces could still use to be replaced. So I'm just kind of going to cruise and just kind of yap and talk to you guys about what happens. So as you can see there, that's Poison Strike. Poison Strike, you just jab them once, it creates a poison cloud, and it deals a lot of damage. And then for guys like this, we have lower resist to just be able to deal even more damage, and also just to break most, I guess it depends. You can break a lot of poison resists, or poison immunities, I should say, with lower resist by itself. So we're just gonna cruise around, and the last thing I'll do is I'll go kill Diablo as well, just to kind of showcase a boss in a bit of a bigger area. But this will be, so we have Travancal here, we just walk up, lower resist them, and then just stab them a few times, and you can see their health is just melts, absolutely just melts. Now, of course, in Project D2, mapping is the much bigger deal. You get a lot more out of mapping than anything else in the game. It's, you know, it's better areas, bigger areas to go. But since you still have to make a new game every time you open up a new map, I kind of just like to still go through and clear stuff anyway. So just having a character that's super smooth at doing that, and just being able to run around and do this is just a ton of fun. So we'll go kill Diablo. Whoops, I didn't mean to staff bonk them. So this staff right here, by the way, that I'm using, it's literally just, it has blink on it, which is, it's the poor man's teleport. Necromancer does get one teleport in this mod. It is, what is it called again? Blood Warp. It's called Blood Warp, so that's your one teleport, but it has a 5-second cooldown. So I also have a staff in the background that has blink charges on it, just so I can... blink charges regenerate after 1 second, so I just use that just as my secondary kind of moving around sort of thing. I'll save that for Diablo, why not? But as you can see as well from my Poison Strike damage, 25 to 26k is, in my mind, it's crazy. Like, I do not see anything reach that kind of damage usually. But also, this is really like my first time going super deep with a character in Project D2, so I really don't know if that's like normal within the realms of possibilities for a lot of these other strong and popular builds that are within this mod. But like I said, I was just having so much fun. It's literally just this. You just run around and you go, hiya, and then you keep on your merry way. You just hiya, and you keep going, and it was just so fun. And leveling with this build shocked me at how effective it was. I literally thought it was going to be a total meme. I thought my accuracy rating was just going to be abysmal, and I wasn't going to be able to do anything with it really outside of, like, you know, just really is as a full meme. And I figured I would pivot to Poison Nova. I thought I was going to pivot to Poison Nova. That wound up not being the case at all. It was so much fun. It was so strong as it is that I was like, oh, I'm absolutely full sending this instead of doing Poison Nova, because this is just so cool. And you can't, I mean, you could do this in the base game too, but it's going to be so much worse, and it's going to be so much harder to to do this, and it's not going to be better than just using Poison Nova in the base game. So, you know, of course, not the absolute fastest, and also, like I said, I'm only level 85 at the end of the day, so it's not like I have the greatest gear or items or build really set up. I have a very solid setup, I would say, but I do not have. I feel like I'm still missing a few pieces, and I'll kind of go over that in a second here. So first, though, we have Diablo. Hi, buddy. Ow. We'll see if he spams it, but ow, sure does. But as you can see, look at that damage. He just gets chunked by this poison. He just absolutely melted away. Thanks for dropping nothing for me, buddy. He absolutely melts to this build. Like, everything in the game melts like that overall. Like, map bosses even have been absolutely getting just completely roasted as I've been running this build. It's been just so much fun to see, and I've loved that. My cold res is pretty bad right now, honestly. What if I could drop that? What is my cold res? Yeah, it's only 49, so that is something that I'll talk about as well. That's sort of one of the weaknesses of this character, is being a little not tanky. But I'm kind of working on that. I'm working on fixing that. So with that, we'll kind of go over the character really quick. So as you saw right there, that was just a quick demonstration, just running around, just destroying stuff. That's essentially how it felt throughout the entirety of leveling. Early on, what you'll do point-wise, if you did want to do this, is you'd go 5 levels Poison Strike. I did a level into Bone Armor as soon as I could at level 6, and then pretty much just keep mashing your levels until you get down into so you can get down into Desecrate. Actually, you basically just max this out. It's basically you do 5 levels here, 1 level here, max this out, max this out, max this out. I have a level in Poison Nova because, like I said, I was originally thinking about if I was going to make a pivot to Poison Nova because I wasn't sure. So I put a level into it, but ultimately I am going to be respecking this character at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But I will be respecking this character, and I will drop this point to Poison Nova because it doesn't actually matter. And then I think from here, you kind of have a couple different ways you can go. Oh, also, when you get to level like 20, I think it's 22, you can go 22, 23, 24, because it's a level 24 skill. So would say do that, take 1 point here, 1 point here, and then go into Blood Warp, just so that you actually have your movement option as you're leveling. Very, very helpful to have. And then once you get closer to level 30, I would also recommend doing the amp damage, life tap, weaken, lower resist, just in case you run into the early game Poison Nova guys. And like I said as well, this is also the second character I made, so I really don't know how well this build does as a true League starter. It probably would be fine as a true ladder reset. It probably would do completely fine. It would still be very, very strong. I think it would just be harder to find upgrades and pieces as you were going on. So kind of, if it's a ladder reset when you're watching this, try at your own risk. But overall, I think it will still be good. I think it should still be really strong. You'll just look for a lot of flat levels to Poison Strike where you can, or Bone Armor or Desecrate. And those are sort of your major points that you want to be putting into. And then, yeah, curses-wise, get down here, level 30, take low resist, just so you can early on break any resistances that you come across, or at least a lot of them. And then, so this is where you can break once you kind of get to the end game here. So you do want to get a point into low resist, you want to get a point into Curse Mastery. I want to say if you feel like you're tanky enough, then you could probably just full spec into lower resist and Curse Mastery instead of going into Blood Golem and Golem Mastery. But I also feel like now that I've used these guys for a little while now, I almost kind of feel like it's better to just use the Blood Golem setup. They are really tanky and do a really good job at splitting, and since once you get to Golem Mastery, every 5 base levels you can summon another Golem. So being able to have a couple more guys to split and go off and get aggro and do things feels really good for the build. It feels really good for survivability as well, honestly. And it means you're spending less time getting smacked and getting stuck into hit stun or anything. So I feel like the Golem route is probably better. But if you really do feel like you're super tanky, or maybe you went with a different Mercenary, and that Mercenary is really tanky and doing a really good job of pulling aggro and keeping and holding aggro, then I would say go into lower resist, go into Curse Mastery, just really focus on lowering everything, and you should be able to break if not all, most poison resists in the game, or poison immunities. Sorry, I keep saying resistances, but it'd be immunities. And so you could 100% go that route, and I think that would also be completely fine. And then stat-wise, per usual, just enough strength, enough dexterity for your items, and then just maxing the rest into vitality. Early on in the game, you'll need some dexterity for the daggers anyway, and if you want to try to really make sure you have enough hit rating or attack rating, make sure that you are putting some points into dexterity. With that, though, we'll just roll into gear really quick. So early on, like I said, I had some items kind of hanging around for this character. I've had some things just sort of sitting there for this character, but early on, if you happen to have it, a Jade Tan Dough, this item, it's only required level 19. I put this item on at level 19, and it carried me from level 19 through the end of Hell difficulty. That is how good this thing is. This is how completely fine it is to use this thing. It gives you Can't Be Frozen, it gives you a ton of poison resist, we got a bunch of levels to Poison Strike, a bunch of poison damage, some Deadly Strike in there. Like, this thing does it all and is really, really, really good for the early game until you're able to pivot and get a base for a Venom. Venom is the more endgame version. This gives us a Poison Nova, which is also why you don't need to put a point into Poison Nova, because you'll be getting a free one from Venom, which is just very nice, along with all of the other benefits that Venom provides us. It gives us +3 to Poison Strike, in addition to finding a base. You want to try to find a base that adds flat poison damage, has levels to Poison Strike, and if you can, find one that also has Deadly Strike. And ideally as well, you find a knife that has +3 to Poison Strike as well. I unfortunately could not, and I just called it good with a +2 and flat poison damage, and then stuck the Venom on it. Very, very good option for this build, and it's probably best in slot. There might be something else that I just don't know about, but I feel like this is probably best in slot. Shield wise, currently I'm using a Bone Flame. Bone Flame is good. It's completely fine. I mean, obviously it's a good defensively oriented skull and gives us +3 levels, and then just has some good defenses on it. Ultimately though, using this Martyrdom, however you want to say it, is probably better. It's +2 global and then another +2 to Poison Strike, along with a bunch of other good stuff on it. And then I think if you can throw a socket in it and use probably just a diamond on here just to give yourself some all resist, unless you have your resist covered elsewhere, then you could use something else. I don't really know what else you'd want to use, but you could use something else if you really needed to. But that would be what I recommend as far as items go. Matridom, very, very good for this build. Unfortunately, this is the only one that I've found. It was ethereal, and I was like, dang it. And then I saw that the durability when I got it as well was 10, and I used it for literally one map, and it went down to 8. So I went, okay, never mind. There's kind of no point in me using this. I could use it for a little while, or maybe I save it for if I'm coming across something that's really tough and I want to just get even more damage on it or something. Then I'll use this, but overall, I'm sort of just looking for another one that's not ethereal. But yeah, that's what I recommend there. Early on as well, like I said, so you have Jade Tan Dough. Probably just a Rhyme. Rhyme is very good. Once again, just finding a Hierophant trophy or a head or of any kind that has flat poison damage, Poison Strike, or Bone Armor, or Desecrate, because that's where we get bonuses from. Any of those would be a good option. Also, the other option would be Splendor as well. If you do have a Jade Tan Dough, then you probably could just go Splendor instead. This gives us +1 all skills as well. So I would say you could completely go with that. Rhyme gives, I think, more resists. But the Can't Be Frozen doesn't matter because you already have it on the Jade Tan Dough. Let's see, what else? Otherwise, yeah, per usual with leveling, just try to find, attack speed, accuracy rating, that kind of thing. Just kind of keep it generic. And helmet-wise here, I just have a Circlet. This is +2 Necro levels and I threw a socket into it and then threw a RAL into it because I needed fire res at the time. I probably still kind of, I mean, I'm capped, but I still probably kind of do. And then the rest of this actually really doesn't matter. Literally all that it was is essentially a +2 Necro skill level, and that was more or less it. I mean, the 8 mana stolen is fine. The max damage, it doesn't really matter for this build. But the +2 is just such a big deal, and then being able to throw a socket on it is also very nice. But obviously, if you can get a better helmet here, I will be certainly also be trying to find a better helmet here. I don't know if there is one. There might be. There's probably unique. I mean, if you get a Shaco, that's almost certainly better. What else is there? I'm sure there's one or two other things that I'm just not thinking of that would be better here. But +2 Necro skiller here, can't go wrong with that. Amulet wise, I just have a 3 P&B with a bunch of dexterity on it. Nothing wrong with that. Find a +2 all level Necro with something good on it. Find a +3 P&B that has a bunch of resists and some other good stuff for you on it. Whatever you need. Ring wise, this has FCR. I don't know if you can get an attack rating. I don't know if increased attack speed or increased attack speed. I don't know if that's on here. Either way, attack rating, resistances, just generically good ring. Look out for some more of those. Or actually, probably getting a Bolcathos wedding band here would be very nice. Bolcathos or Stone of Jordan would be okay. But Bolcathos is probably your best bet. I have a Ravenfrost here for the Can't Be Frozen. I do also have it on my belt, but I'll be looking to replace this belt. So Ravenfrost is probably going to remain here. It gives us a lot of attack rating, which is very, very helpful. And the Can't Be Frozen, always very nice. Sandstorm Treks are our boots. Again, generically, just really good boots. There aren't really any offensively oriented boots that I feel like are better. So Sandstorm Treks are just better overall, at least as far as I can really think. Once again, I'm not 100% an expert when it comes to the mods, so I don't know if there are better options out there. But that's just sort of what I am rocking for now, and I feel like is probably the best option. And then Triangles here. Triangles gives us +2 curses. Again, just kind of really helps us break those immunities for poison. It gives us some resistances and some poison skill damage. Overall, not bad. But the two set that you get with Triangles doesn't do anything that we care about. It gives you 18 to Fireball and regens your mana. That really doesn't matter. I would probably put, if I can find one, an Arachnid Mesh here, or something along those lines, something else good. So I'll be kind of looking for a better belt, maybe even just a generic belt, just a generic rare that has resist, life, and something else on it. That would be good. But it does fine. Like, this is still a fine belt, but yeah, you don't need the 2 set here. You could also just run something that has increased attack speed and accuracy rating here, like I was showing over here. I just like these because of the poison skill damage and the curses, just to really help break immunities where needed. Let's see. Oh, and then chest piece wise, so early on I was using a treachery actually. Oh, I don't have one right now. It's on my other character. Dang it. I was using a treachery, which if you don't know what treachery is, it's a pretty decent low-ish level chest piece that gives you a chance to cast Venom from assassins on striking. So that just gives us more poison damage and I believe some poison penetration. So early on I was using a treachery. I was just using kind of generic stuff, a stealth, whatever else, until I got around to using that. And I used that for a while. I was just running around with that. And then I got really lucky as far as rune drops, or at least I feel like I've gotten really lucky as far as rune drops go. I did get a Sur rune pretty early, and I've also seen a couple of Ohm runes. You can see I could have an Ohm here. And so I decided, and I had a good Archon plate base, excuse me. So I just threw a Bramble together. Bramble feels like it's probably the best still for this build. The 46% increased poison skill damage is really good. Everything else that it gives is just very defensively oriented and helps a lot, especially because we have to get in there with our knife and give them the nya. So having just an ability to be a little bit tankier feels nice. Enigma or something, if you have the runes for it, Enigma might be better. I don't know how the 46 poison skill damage plays out versus Enigma with +2 skill levels. It might be even. This might be better. Might be. I don't know. But it feels really good, and this is probably as good as it's going to get for me. So I will be rocking Bramble. Bramble seems very good. And like I said, this is just Naj's Puzzler here, which just has some cast rate and some blink, and then it just replenishes 1 charge in 3 seconds. So I can just kind of blink and teleport. Nothing crazy. I just wanted to use it just so I actually had a way to move more than just my regular teleport. And then I want to say the last thing I probably have to go over is the Mercenary. And this is where I think things get very interesting. There are some really good options. I feel like in pretty much every single act. I would not fault you for taking a mercenary from literally any act, and I'll just kind of go over all of them. So the one that I would recommend from Act 1 if you were going to do it, Act 1 is probably the weakest, but if you were going to do it, I would probably recommend a Vigor. Just being able to get a Fire Arrow Vigor character out there that is helping you just... if you're going for like speed clearing, then I would say that this is probably your best bet. Go with a Vigor champion, or a Vigor Fire Arrow Act 1 Merc. You just cruise around with her, help you go really fast, just be able to slay out, and there's nothing wrong with that. Act 2 wise, I would say either Defiance, because again, just we have to really get in there. So if you have Defiance just for that more armor, for the less physical damage taken, I would not fault you literally at all. I think that's completely valid to take. But also Blessed Aim is very good, because accuracy rating, again, we kind of have to struggle and fight to get enough accuracy rating. And the other thing is that Blessed Aim in this mod also gives Deadly Strike, which would also be a very nice bonus for our character. So Blessed Aim is also a Defiance or Blessed Aim from Act 2, something I 100% wouldn't fault if you went with that as well. Act 3 over here, I actually was using an Act 3 Mercenary for a very long time. So let's go up to Ashira really quick.
Well,
I know. I did great.
You made it back all in one piece.
So the cold guys here that do prayer are also very, very good. And I was rocking, like I said, I was rocking one of these guys for a long time. I was rocking a cold prayer guy. The life regen is just nice to have as a added bonus while we're kind of standing up there, or while we use our blood warp, because it actually costs us life to use that teleport. So having the prayer guy here, the cold prayer guy, is quite nice, and I really liked it. And the other thing is, because Holy Freeze does not exist as an aura in this mod, you can't find any mercenaries with Holy Freeze on them. Using one of these guys for their ability to freeze was actually extremely nice. Like, it just really helped. They could just slow the entire map. They cast Blizzard now in this mod, so they did a really, really good job of clearing and keeping me safe. And I pretty much, the only reason I really stopped using them is because of the fact that since I'm not investing into lower resist that much, I wasn't able to break a lot of the cold immunities, and cold immunity is one of the most common immunities in this game, so their damage kind of really fell off without being able to invest into lower resist. But I literally was running with these guys from normal through hell up until a certain point, probably up until about Act 4. And yeah, so Act 3 Mercenary is also a very good choice, very good defensively oriented choice. And Tyrael here, this is one of the guys that I'm rocking, I'm rocking the Dark guy. This is probably just the most damaging. I feel like these guys just really pump damage. They do some really, really solid damage. The Dark guy, as I have here, and as you probably saw in the showcase, he uses Teeth, he uses Bone Spear, he uses Amplified Damage, and he uses Bone Armor. I believe those are all the 4 things that he'll use. So he doesn't have an aura attached to him at all. The Light guy does. He has Sanctuary attached to him. I don't know what skills he uses, but he does have Sanctuary attached to him. I just don't care about magic damage. I care all about poison and just high damage, so I went with the Dark guy just to try him out. And honestly, I feel like he's just pumped so much damage and is overall, like, fairly tanky because of, like, Bone Armor and just, you know, the smarter AI just knowing to stay back a bit more. And he can really pump some good damage. So I've actually been having a ton of fun using a Gnarl here. I've been having a ton of fun using this guy, this Dark guy for a while. This Dark Ascendant guy, whatever he is. So that's been a lot of fun. But again, you know, that just kind of depends on what you want to do. Actually, that reminds me, I haven't done the quest, right? I sure haven't. Okay. So I have not done the quest in I have not done the rescue, so I don't have the ability to recruit from Qualcock there. But you could I think, let's see. So he has barbarians. One does might, one gives you might aura, and one gives you battle orders. One is a whirlwind that gives you battle orders. Either option is probably completely fine, is completely solid. They will do a lot. Battle orders is probably the way to go. Battle orders doesn't work the same in this mod. You just get flat life, but it will still be a very good bonus for you. So that's sort of what I would recommend is just going with that. Oh, also for the character, just quick side note, I'm also trying to work on getting a call to arms. So call to arms will be a very good thing in the back to have. But other than that, like I said, all of the mercenaries, like there's a mercenary from pretty much any act that I feel like is totally fine to use. I feel like you really can't go wrong when it comes to picking mercenaries. This build just feels like it has a ton of options. I just wanted the more damage from this guy, but going with anything else would be great. If I found that I wanted to get rid of like Ravenfrost and just keep Trangwell's Girth for some reason, then what I would probably do is go get an Act 2 Blessed Aim mercenary, most likely, or maybe do an Act 5 mercenary. It'd be between the two, and I would have to play around and find out. But for now, I've been having a lot of fun just with this guy. You know what? I kind of want to go see him. I want to go let him roast Pindle over here. One thing of note as well is his curse. So he casts amplified damage like that. But you can see he does really good damage. His curse, though, when he casts amplified damage, does not count against your curse total. So you as the player can still cast lower resist on the enemy, and you will still break their immunities. And he can cast amplified damage, and he will still gain the bonus from amplified damage. They're two separate instances, so they don't overwrite each other, which is actually very, very important. That was one of the things that I was immediately like, ooh, I don't know if I can use this guy because I actually need to break immunities. But because they can work side by side, you can have your curse and he can have his curse, then it's actually totally fine. You don't have to worry about that being a thing as well. Mercenary-wise for him also, Ondal's Wisdom, I feel like this is probably one of the best things, one of the best in slots for him. Ton of defense, ton of cast speed, all skills, which mercenaries gain bonuses from all skills, but not class-specific skills. So, plus bonus to all skill, extremely good. This is a nothing burger of gloves. I have to get him new gloves. Just can't be frozen on the boots, really, was all I cared about there. Some more cast right here and some resists there, nothing special. And then just a tall Rashi mask, mostly for the all resist here. Also, not a big deal. We'll probably be replacing this with something else in the future as well. And then a skin of the Viper Magi, all skills, faster cast rate, all resist again. So he is overall pretty damn tanky and pretty. He can pump some really serious damage, which is just has been a lot of fun. A lot of fun to use. I really like this mercenary, and I'll probably be keeping him. But with that though, that is that's the character. Yeah, I was just yapping away about this guy. He, like I said, he's just been an absolute ton of fun to use. Like, completely caught me off guard how much fun this whole build was going to be and how strong this character would be. But I'm really glad that I decided to play this and give it a go. So I think the last thing I'll do here, just for the heck of it, just because this is usually something else that I clear up as well, is I'll go take out Andy as well. Good old Andariel. I really like fighting pretty much any bosses on this build. You get to really truly watch their health just melt. There he goes. Hi, Andy. But yeah, next few levels, hopefully be getting some more things. And she's dead. It's so fun. I love that. I love it so much. What are these again? What do I forget? Bullhide. Increase attack speed and some other stuff against undead. But yeah, with that though, that is this character. And like I said, next few levels for me, probably going to be going into more summoning. Try to get up to 3 golems. I can't remember how many base points I have. I think I have 10 base points. I'm pretty sure it's 10 base points. Oh, and charm-wise, I have, unfortunately, a summoning skills. This should be if I can get one, I'll try to get a Poison and Bone skiller here instead, and then just some generic other charms just with life resistances. And if you can find some faster hit recovery stuff, that is also extremely good for this build. And then, yeah, if you can find Poison and Bone skill Grand Charms, that obviously is a huge bonus to your damage as well. And then, yeah, Golem Mastery otherwise. Try to get to 3 golems for me. I think if I keep going, once I get up to 3 golems, I will probably pivot back down to curses, and I'll just start throwing some points into lower resist instead. And I will also do a respec where I don't take this Poison Nova point, My stat values can probably be swapped around a little bit more, so I might end up with a little bit more vitality, maybe a bit more dexterity or something. I don't really know, but that is this build. I hope you enjoy. If you are playing Project D2, I hope that you have a really good time, either with this character or just in general. This has been a lot of fun playing overall. I've been having a blast just streaming this every day and actually really enjoying the D2 farm per usual. But that is Mike Myers' Poison Strike Necro. Hope you guys enjoyed. And otherwise, I will see you once Path of Exile 2 drops. Bye now.